you'll find a link for you to check out what I'm about to talk about. Again, like, share, subscribe. One of the things we're going to start to talk about is reviews on these people who are talking about their criminal past and what they've done. And I think that's big because when we look at the Hollywood angle with Jaguar Wright, it's only eating up. And I believe this is going to add infiltration and understanding because a lot of these individuals are friends with these celebrities. And when they're friends with these celebrities, they get them caught up. And it makes sense when certain crimes are placed on them. They're going to find the same thing with P. Diddy. I am telling you ahead of time. I'm forecasting it. They're going to find the same thing with P. Diddy. Trust me. Trust me. And that's why a lot of his friends are scattering and running to and fro, trying to get away because they know it's coming. Because that's how it always works. It's always worked that way. And as we get into this story, a security guard, same thing with in the prisons. Security guards can be corrupted and see how much money is being made in the prison. And one of these individuals who were corrupted was named is Gary Hayward, Gary L. Heyward. And below there's a link with him talking in a brief interview. But on his cover, that's his book called Officer. Look at it, check it out, see what's going on with it. I'm telling you, these books and stuff detail exactly the mind of criminal workings and people who are in power. And they're not alone. Don't think it's different because it's a big corporation. No, there's somebody that's trying to abuse power in some way, shape, or form. Not everybody does things the right way. And this is what we got to come to understand. Just like Diddy, look, Revolt TV, look how much it's worth. Look how much he was getting from there. Look at his affiliations through Revolt. He still couldn't get away from doing things that way in his life. He couldn't escape it. He had to. He just had to. He had to look to abuse it. He was looking for however he could make it happen. And what's even crazier than that, I'm thinking, he also bad boy. Remember, he still was getting paid off of the Biggie Smalls. He was getting crazy amounts of money. Now who gets the money? Does he have things in place? Is he prepared? These are questions now his family got to think of that is even deeper because it puts him in a situation where he can't even be himself. Got to get more lighting in. He can't even be himself. He can't even do the things he's trying to do. He can't even be the person he's trying to be now. Understand this is huge. And Gary L. Heyward was a person of power, security guard. He was literally enforcement and literally taking care of business inside of a prison. It was corrupted by the money. How many corrupt guards are there right now at this moment? Let's be real. Come on. This is getting big. This is starting to get... Look, I'm telling you, the way things work in God's world, he's letting things be exposed. This interview is pretty deep too. I watched this one on there and I looked up ordering the book and stuff. Going forward from there to understand it, check out the book to those of you who like to read. This interview down below should sway you by Johnny Mitchell. It's very deep, and I'm just like, wow. I mean, it's like the movies. These movies are 100% true. These prison movies, when I'm thinking, they're 100% true. I want to know what's false about the movies. About them moving things in and out, moving. Come on now. So how do we know our country? Think of the prison as a country. How do we know our country isn't doing the same thing? Listen to me. You got to understand the way things work, the way the public appeal, public everything, affiliation. We can't call who's the bad guy and good guy. That's why everybody, you got to judge them by their character. Just by that. A security guard, you would think he's a good guy. He's going to help you. He's wearing a badge. He got your back. He doesn't. He's in it. You got to know good people. It's a personal level. Even when they're wearing a badge, you can't look at it and say, oh, they're a good guy because they're that person. Don't take their title and their highness as exactly who they are for them being the person that you think they are in your mythical imagination. You got to understand his character flaws to everyone. No one's no one's away from it. There's no way to avoid it. We're not perfect, but at the same time, the things you do and the way you move is indicative of your character and your future that you're deserving of. So you got to be very wise on this. It's very serious. Gotta make wise decisions. He was in a good position. Didn't make a wise decision. His if he retired from there being a security guard, he would have made more than enough money. He made more than enough money to live. He was looking at it saying he needs more. Remember, God allows you to have and supports you. And if you need more, God will supply. Now imagine if he stuck with that. He'd have everything. He's making money, but not nearly as much as he would have if he stuck with the security guard position and not tripped out on it and stuck with the dirty money. That's what I'm saying. Fast money ain't always good money. Stop listening to it, stop hearing it, and do it. If all money ain't good money, then do what's right. Don't have your parents worried about you. Don't, especially to you youngins, man. Don't have your parents worried about you. Don't be out there doing stuff that you know is against the law when you can be lawful and do just as bigger things. You can own things that people have never owned. You got to be wise. And that's what the understanding of his book is getting to. If you guys begin to read, and it goes into detailing his life, how he grew up. Understand your environment that you grow up in affects you too. You got to be wise on that. It can affect you big. It can really change things for you. It can really cause issue. You really can grow from it. You really can. You got to be really careful. You really got to watch it, because if you do that, you do that the wrong way, it can put you in a position out here. Now that's the worst thing. You get stuck out here. Now understand this. This is what the bigger part of, well, Nate Boone, I guess we never went over that. I watched it too. That you gotta understand. You mess up inside, it leads to out here. Out here it's real because it can get other people tied in these cases. When I say that, I'm talking about your immediate people around you. You know, your kids and things, and it can just get really messy. So fast money ain't always good money, and that's what he's trying to detail and tell everybody. And he's just one of the many people, as you need to understand. His decisions were made before. Your route's not going to be different just because when you make the same decision. He's literally showing you the outcome. You gotta take it and understand it. And I think that was big. And I like these type of guests that they have on here. I mean, the conspiracy ones, you could take it as you feel, pin drop, however you want to do it. You know, I mean, the ones where I really don't see the point of it when we're talking to people who I would say are successful, but maybe didn't do it as big as the other people. Like Gary Hayward did it big. Like you gotta look it up and understand who we're talking about. He did it big. I'm talking about the other people that's not the main people. But then there's the Nate Boone one. I don't know if I want to talk about that in detail, because one thing you guys gotta understand, when these criminals are taking out other criminals, God sometimes is allowing it. Okay, you gotta get that. God does not always punish someone because they commit a crime like that. And you may call it a crime, but it is an evil person taking out, let's say it was a drug dealer that sold things to and killed a bunch of people you knew nothing about. God may have allowed it. God allows that type of stuff because when you look at the picture, it may be saving other lives that this person could poison and kill, because it's working all to the matter of God handling it. Vengeance is God's, okay? And all matters. You let him handle it. That's what I'm saying. You gotta keep that in mind, because we're starting to get away from that mentality, and they want us away from that mentality. They want us to want vengeance. They want us to want to hurt people. They want me and you to feud with each other over race, food, silly things, ethnicity. It's going to get sillier. Mark my words. It's about to get sillier. It's going to get a bit crazier. Um, it's going to start to twist and turn. You're going to hear people fighting over the last pair of Jordans. It's going to start out over stuff expensive. It's going to start that way. But then what's going to happen there is going to get turned into, oh, well, now you guys are fighting over things that you need. All right. First, it's going to be things you want. Oh, I want that. Oh, you want this. And that's already happening to a certain degree. If you look at it, and even our state is carrying that, our state of affairs, they're carrying that on in Congress. They're doing that everywhere. It's the beginning of them starting to reel in the selfishness and pride being placed above. You got to overstand it. You got to overpower it. You got to do better than that. You got to know God's going to provide for you. That's the whole thing. if you understand God's going to provide for you, you won't begin to fight somebody over something. If anything, you'll look to see how you can give them. Okay, it's about giving. It's not about what I can take. It's about what you can give, or how you can help in this life. You got to think that way because we're losing humanity, and that's something we don't want to do. It's very serious to maintain this and the understanding because if you don't have anyone with the mentality to help, then you have nobody with the mentality to progress because helping is the first step to progression. Okay, we're helping each other. We're trying to come to a common cause to get an outcome to deliberate a troubling matter. Okay, it's simple things that we learned as kids. The simple things. All right, it's very important. That's what needs to be understood. These simple things, and I feel like the Gary L Heyward thing, it's part of what came out in his outcome. He's basically explaining to you, letting you know the simple things. If he accepted things the way they were and he went forward in it, and that's in the Bible too. As we get in the book of Isaiah and the book of Psalms, it details stories where there's people that simple things have happened and simple matters of belief have gave them strength to overpower a matter. Okay, you gotta have faith through it. Faith is the connecting force that gives you the accomplishment, and you got to keep that in mind. And I'm very impressed at how a lot of people are sticking together through the troubling matters, and I have faith in what you guys are doing. Hebrews 11:1. You know how I rock. All rights reserved.